So if you've suffered for 10 years or more with depersonalization realization, and you're terrified that the symptoms are going to be forever and that it's just been too long at this point and I've forgotten what normal feels like and there's just no hope for me, and maybe you've tried so many different things to recover, I want to build some hope in you. So I'm going to read you what this lady put on her application who started working with me a little over 8 weeks ago. She says, I've been experiencing depersonalization realization symptoms my entire adult life that began when I was 17. I'm now 67. In the 70s, no one knew what was wrong with me or how to fix it. I've followed Jordan off and on for the past 5 years, but have never really committed to the process as I should. I've been told by therapists that once I remembered my trauma and dealt with it, my symptoms would go away. I had spent my entire life terrified of uncovering some major trauma until I listened to Jordan and realized that this is not the case. So, I can't diagnose as a coach, but one of the things that I do with my clients is educate. And there's something called complex trauma, where, if you were to use a cup example, a major trauma, which is just a sudden, overwhelming state of stress, is like a lightning strike. Let's even say you're a relatively calm person, but something happens and it overwhelms your ability to cope with that stress that you're experiencing. You could see it as, let's be extreme and say that the cup was empty, although everybody probably has a little bit of stress, but it goes from empty to overflowing. Okay, that's a major trauma. It's like a lightning strike. With complex trauma, though, you could see it as like the cup slowly filling up over time, and then eventually it starts to overflow. And for a lot of people, it's a complex trauma situation. And because of that, they can't really connect their depersonalization, realization, and other symptoms of traumatic stress to any one particular event. And it gets very confusing. So with her, I believe she showed up, if I remember correctly, for like 2 years to a very well-meaning therapist who was just doing what they were taught to do. But they were looking for a major trauma. They were looking for that event that caused her nervous system to get overwhelmed. But technically speaking, trauma is not even an event. It's a state of overwhelming stress. And there's two ways that you can get there, like we talked about. So once I helped her see that, she started to look prior to when the symptoms showed up, and she was in a very, very toxic environment. There were all kinds of situations that slowly caused her nervous system to build up to that point of overwhelm. The cup started to fill up, and then there was a singular situation that wasn't even that stressful, but because she was walking around at like an 8 or 9 out of 10, it was enough to push her into overwhelm. She is now 75% recovered as of our meeting 3 days ago. And she's like, Jordan, like, on one hand, I'm so excited, but I'm also almost afraid to be excited because it's been so long since I've been in symptoms. And I'm like, be excited, because we are finally getting to the root of these symptoms, because we're actually doing things to communicate safety to your nervous system.